The world might feel a bit more chaotic and a bit more divided. It's easy to forget sometimes that there are constants. Your home's still your home, your family's still your family, and all the structures of our society are still there to look after you if you need it.
Here we go. George's resource.
Adult male, code red trauma, 10 minutes.
Activate the helipad.
There's been an explosion on a building site.
Heart rate 200.
Open your eyes, open your eyes.
Imagine having to work here.
Hello, Annie, can I help?
St George's, London.
It's all gonna kick off now.
One of Britain's busiest A&E departments.
Are we ready to roll?
Carry on CPR.
Oh, goodness me, it's all happening, isn't it?
We need to fix that, or you won't survive.
Is it?
A place where life,
Would you say I was fit, Doctor? Honestly, I think I'm quite fit.
love,
You are my everything. I love you, and it's okay.
and loss
Oh, Mum. I'm so sorry.
unfold every single day.
For every bad thing that you see, there is something equally wonderful out there.
Filmed across one 24-hour period, these are the stories of a nation and its health service.
I thought I was going to die.
You're definitely not going to die. You've got too many good doctors and nurses here.
When people experience really significant illness or injuries, we see people pull together, we see relationships get stronger, and we see people reflect on what really is the most important things in their life.
Whatever happens, it's going to be okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
Growing up, I'd always felt very protected by my mum. There were a lot of sort of circumstances that life threw at us, but we always knew that Mum would make the right decision and everything would be fine because Mum was there. She protected us from the outside world, but she has had a very, very difficult life.
Hello, Georges? Yep. Yep. Lovely. Hold on. Thanks. Bye. Adult female trauma, 8 minutes.
An 82-year-old woman is being rushed to St George's after she fell and sustained an open fracture.
So all we know is it's an open tib fib? Yeah. Okay.
Consultant Melissa is preparing the trauma team for the patient's arrival.
So an open fracture, sometimes called a compound fracture as well, is basically that there's a wound. And sometimes it means there's bones sticking out. But if it's both bones that hold up your lower leg that are broken, then it's going to be more complicated to fix. It's going to mean it's harder to get you to walk on it again.
The patient's daughter is travelling with her in the ambulance.
On that day, I was at work. There was a text from my husband that said, my mum's had a fall. She was out with a dog in the middle of a big field. He said, yeah, it's quite bad. He said, there's blood. And when I arrived on the scene, my stomach absolutely flipped.
Scan well clear. Vehicle reversing.
Ready, steady, slide.
Great, let's get a handover.
Perfect. Hello, guys. So this is Susan. Susan's 82 years old. So at around 11:15 this morning, Susan had a mechanical fall while she was out walking her dog. She fell in a puddle, tried to get up and noticed sort of pain in her left ankle. very obvious open tib fib, approximately 50 ml blood loss on scene. She's got a slightly delayed cap refill of 4 seconds, but she can move it, she can feel it when we touch it.
Let's get her into a gown, and can we just get proper hospital gown, blankets, bear hugger as well? She's clearly cold, and get a temperature.
Let's do that as a priority.
I'm one of the orthopedic doctors. I'm just going to examine you, okay? If there is anything that is hurting, just tell me, okay? No tenderness over the chest wall. Can you take a deep breath in? Good, good, good. Chest expansion equal bilateral, no signs of surgical emphysema. Can you lift off your right leg? Good, good, good. Do we have scissors? Yeah. Sure.
That's not nice. Poor thing. That is going to be a nightmare. You're not allergic to anything? No, you're fine with penicillin? OK, lovely. We're going to have a little look at your ankle and more painkillers are on the way, all right?
Sorry.
Can you not do anything else until we get some Penthrox?
Susan, I've got some painkillers for you. You can just use it whenever you're in pain. OK. Yeah?
I couldn't imagine how an old lady of 82, I just couldn't imagine how she would come back from that. They're not going to be able to repair that. They're probably going to end up having to amputate her foot.
So what we need to do first is get that ankle just in a better position. Have you seen it? It's obviously a very nasty break.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty, I'm sorry.
82-year-old Susan has sustained an open fracture after falling while walking her dog.
I think she's going to need something a bit more than the Penthrox. Why don't we just drop some ketamine then? Works for me. Just some ketamine, yeah, thanks. We get 220. Have you got any questions at the moment? Fine, OK.
Doctors must now attempt to reset Susan's fractured ankle.
I'm just going to give you some medication to make you sleepy now, OK?
We've got all the kit we need for plaster. From the airway perspective, we're pre-oxygenating her now, which is, yeah, we're using ketamine.
Susan, how are you doing? Are you still awake?
Yep.
You guys happy? Should we just get on with it? So when we reduce a fracture or a dislocation, we want to get that leg in a better position straight away.
Well done, they're just pulling your ankle up. You're doing really well. Well done. Well done, Susan.
It's only a temporary move, but the sooner it's in a normal position, the lower the risk of complications. So even a little cut in our skin can be dangerous. And certainly if your bone gets bacterial infection, then that can be very, very serious, even life-threatening. Susan, how are you doing? You okay? Still pretty sleepy.
Susan's daughter, Megan, has arrived in resus.
Yes, I am.
She's had a very strong painkiller so that we could pull the ankle out.
OK.
So she's a little bit out of it.
OK.
Susan, we've got a visitor for you.
Hi. How are you feeling?
Very good. They put you a lot of drugs so they could straighten your ankle bones out. My mum was born in 1937. She grew up in Cape Town, went to a convent school. She was taught all her subjects by the same 2 or 3 nuns. Growing up, she didn't have much. South Africa, is not a welfare state. But she went to technical college to do a secretarial course. I think the idea was that you learnt shorthand typing and then you got a secretarial job until somebody married you. Mum was very beautiful, but by her account, she was quite awkward. So I think she was very taken aback when my dad showed an interest in her. Particularly as he was such a sort of fast-talking, smooth-talking, happening kind of guy. Fairly soon after their marriage, my dad was sliding into alcoholism. So I think things were rocky even before I was born.
You're going to go and have a scan so they can look at the bones and see how bad the break is, to see if you need 1 plaster or 2.
I think 2, maybe.
Yeah. When I was about 6, my dad, he moved out and left my mum alone with us three kids. She had a phone call and just said he sold the house and we've all got to move out. Must have been pretty awful for my mum. Mum? Yeah? Everything's fine, yeah? Just relax. We stayed in my mum's neighbour's back garden in this caravan. And that was probably the best year of her adult life. One time when my aunt visited and she brought us a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket, that was like a really, really phenomenal, amazing, once-in-a-lifetime treat for us. And at that time, she'd met my stepfather. I think we were all for it. I think it was an exciting development and it was going to be good. And initially, it really was.
I'm tempted to get a takeaway when we get back. Just try that new Chinese place.
No, too bitters. Sometimes you just can't say no to the buy one get one free.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's just such a good deal.
We can do.
The hot one's really nice. Look at that. Large hot.
Yeah, the chilli one.
The large hot one. Inside
Isn't
the
it called
doughballs.
the hot one?
Yeah, it's all the vegetable hot pepper. Oh, something to look forward to now. Pizza. This day has suddenly turned around.
Yeah.
Why don't we text each other?
No, I'm texting my friends.
Oh, that's a diss, man.
14-year-old Tilly has been brought to A&E by her mum Shelley after injuring her ankle.
Don't
It's not
make me feel
working.
ill.
It's just not working.
What do you mean it doesn't go that way? Don't do it then. If it doesn't go, don't try and force it.
Ow.
Just let them do all the poking about.
Yeah, I don't want people poking my feet.
Tilly?
God.
Tilly? Coming. Hi, Tilly.
Hi.
Hi, come in, come in.
Takes a little bit longer at the moment.
No worries. Right, Tilly, my name's Raheel. I'm one of the children's doctors. Pleased to meet you. Who have you got with you today?
Mum.
Right. OK, so what's the story? What's happened?
I was doing gymnastics yesterday and I went over the vault and landed weirdly on my ankle. It's swollen and hurts.
What happened to your ankle? Or did it go underneath it?
It went that, bent around.
But you're walking on it, right?
Yeah. But I can't walk quite normally.
OK.
It's a bit twisted.
Yeah, generally very healthy.
Good. And who do you live with at home?
Mum and Mum.
OK.
Tilly is my firstborn. She came out all tiny and long and noisy. Lisa, my partner, had Tilly biologically, but as I always say, I held her first, therefore she's mine. OK, right. Fine. Any pins and needles in your foot?
No.
I met Lisa at work in 2001. She came to work at the hospital I was working in. They do say, don't they, that people meet their future partners at work. It's true.
And any medical problems? No. Fine. Allergic to anything?
On one of our first dates, we were walking down the road and a spider walked across in front of me, and I am terrified of spiders. And Lisa picked it up and started talking to it. And I thought, this one's a keeper.
So let's have a good look at your good foot. OK. Fine. All right. So you think it's a bit swollen around here, do you?
I can remember being a teenager and thinking, I never want to have kids. I never want to have kids. When I came out to my mum, because that's what you were supposed to do in the sort of 90s, you had to come out, she cried. And I think that was because she didn't think that she'd have grandchildren. And I think that was quite a sorrow for her, probably. And maybe I thought that as well.
Kind of hurt. Is it when you stretch like that?
I think I knew that Lisa wanted to have children, and it made me seriously consider whether or not I did. And it isn't something that just sort of randomly happens to you.
Good. No tenderness in there?
No.
Nothing down here?
No. Yeah, a little bit like here.
When we first found out she was pregnant, we were just overjoyed, absolutely overjoyed.
So just stand up for me. Just take a few steps.
And you know when you're bursting, you want to tell everyone that you're having a baby, and they don't necessarily react in the way that you're expecting. And they start wondering in your head, how did that happen?
Good, let's get that x-rayed.
When Lisa was pregnant, I used to spend a lot of time playing music to her bump, and we bought a stethoscope so I could listen. But for me, when you're sitting there, you're on the side of it, you just sort of feel a little bit left out, unintentionally. To all intents and purposes, you're about as useful as a man.
Good, good. Right, so let's get you to x-ray. Do you know where it is?
No. And I knew that I wanted to have a baby as well.
Okay.
Why are they all in there?
I don't know.
Like, we tried. This is why we can't have nice things, because people ruin them. These go in the top drawer. I don't know. Oh, this is stressing me out, Raoul. Yeah, I'll sort it.
St. George's. Yeah. Yeah. All right, thank you. Bye. Thrombolysis call, ETA 10 minutes.
An 86-year-old man is being rushed to St. George's after having a suspected stroke.
Hello, can I please have the adult trauma team to any resist?
Leading the case is stroke doctor Shuya.
Stroke needs specialist team because it's a condition that needed to be recognized very quickly. It can be life-threatening.
The man's daughter is on her way to the hospital.
To get a call in the afternoon from my mum, I knew it was serious. And she said to rush. My father had had a fall and he couldn't move his right arm. And she said to me, I think he's had a stroke, but I don't know. On the way to the hospital, I was praying to God. I was thinking, please, let him be okay.
Stand well clear. Vehicle reversing.
So this is Filippo. He had a fall yesterday. He's had another fall today. And his speech seems to be quite slow. But he does have a new bump to the back of his head. Thank you. No worries, thank you.
Filippo, I'm just going to look at your head, okay? Okay. Could you lift this arm up? Could you keep the arm up? Well down. Can you lift this arm up? Lift it up. Keep it up. Your right arm and your right leg weak. Yeah? Do you know that? We're going to scan now. It is quite important to do the brain scan without delay. It will tell us if it is a stroke and whether the patient is a candidate for surgery or not.
I couldn't imagine my life without my father. I loved my father very much. And the thought of never seeing him again is a pain you have to learn to cope with.
Filippo, we're just going to have a scan of your head. Okay?
Do you have any allergies at all, sir?
86-year-old Filippo is being given an urgent CT scan. Doctors suspect he may have suffered a life-threatening stroke.
My father's early life, he lived in Sicily. It was hard working there. He just used to live just on the farmland, selling whatever fruits they had. But not enough crops to feed the whole family, so he came over here to start a better life and to help his family back home in Sicily.
So I think we just need a CT, plain CT.
Plain CT, okay.
He loved his poker with his friends, around the table, bottled whiskey. People loved him. He used to walk into the room and always crack a smile, crack a joke. He was like the star of every show, everywhere he went. My dad said to me when he first met my mum that she was beautiful and he knew he wanted to marry her, and she was the one. They came from Italy with just a suitcase between them to start their journey together in life. He didn't know anybody, he had to make friends, but he managed. They managed together. He purchased his first ice cream van, and my mother also, a year later, purchased her ice cream van. And my mother's one was called Mrs. Whippy, and my father was called Mr. Softy. I had all the friends. We were a very close family, which made what happened really hard to deal with.
Keep very still, sir. Don't move your head.
If it is bleeding in the brain, it will show a big white blob of blood on the scan. It is very easy to see.
Hi, good afternoon, it's Alex, just calling from Resus. We've got a lady who's booked for an ankle, chest and pelvic x-ray.
Susan is being sent for an x-ray to assess the extent of her fracture after she fell while walking her dog.
Take a deep breath in. Hold. And breathe out. Well done.
I do remember, as a sort of 7-year-old pushing on for 8, really, really loving life. Mum had met my stepfather, and I think we liked him a lot initially.
Is it just a distal tibia, is it? Yeah.
He had very much two personas. So when he was socialising or when there were other people there, he was very, very jovial and he laughed a lot and so on. But then he had a really, really nasty sort of way about him. He'd be very negative all the time and also very controlling of her. Most evenings he would start drinking. And that was when things started to be really bad.
To move your hands up onto your chest for me. Okay, well done.
There was always just a slight frisson of possibility of that there might be violence. And one night he was drunk and he threw my mother out into the rain. He said, "Get out and take your filthy brats with you."
Okay, sorry about that. We're all finished x-rays.
And that was one of the few times I ever saw her cry.
Okie dokie. Okay, back in. Hello. Right.
How are you feeling?
Oh dear, oh dear.
I used to feel sort of sorry for her that she had to like live with that and, you know, sort of share a room with him and share a bed with him, and, you know, that was her life and he was her life partner. I think she was just doing the best she could at the time. I think looking back now, she says she wishes that she'd left. But she didn't have a lot of options.
Hello. Hi. You've got a nasty ankle break. And
it looked horrible. It was all going the wrong way round.
It is pretty horrible. But the orthopaedic team have come and they've put it back into alignment, which is good. We've taken some x-rays, but they are going to need to operate on you.
Do I have an option?
Not really.
At that moment, if I could have had any wish, it would have been for us to be able to leave and go back to how things were.
Do you remember that thing when they were feeding people dog's milk and they thought it was lovely and then they
spat it out.
Then they were like, "Ugh." Why a cow as well and not
Donkey.
a donkey? Did you get donkey milk? I'm sure you can. I mean, you can get any milk, can't you? It'd make more sense to have like ape milk or like monkey milk because they're closer to humans than a cow.
Give me some more interesting news, please.
So let's carry them for you.
What?
Your shoesies.
Thank you. I think I should just hop.
Yeah, you just hop.
Hopping in still.
Ow.
Tilly has been given an X-ray after injuring her ankle.
You're leaning on it.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt. Because when it's up.
Do you want to sit on this side and you can lean it on me? You sit on this
No,
side.
I don't want
Make
to.
you uncomfortable. There you go. You're so feistily independent, aren't you? It's true.
Okay.
It's your own detriment sometimes.
Detriment?
Yes, detriment, darling.
God. So posh.
Not. So, Tilly was born in May 2005. But I knew that I wanted to give birth as well. It was important to me. I hadn't really realised perhaps how important it would be. And yeah, I really, really loved being pregnant.
Tilly!
Hey,
hi, come through.
Come on then. I'll bring your shoes.
Back again.
Come in.
Edie was born in December. I gave birth here. So in this house, Edie likes to say I was born under the Christmas tree, and she was. So every year we have to have the Christmas tree up and ready by the 16th because that's the day she was born underneath it.
So x-rays. Fine, so that is your two bones in your leg. All right, this is the one that comes all the way down. And you see that bump there?
Yeah.
That's you bump at your ankle. Now you're tender about there, right?
Yeah.
So as you can see, that is not a crack. That's actually called your growth plate. That's where your bones grow from. And I don't think there's any problem with that.
Some people do struggle to, you've got two mums. When the kids were little, they'd sort of come home and say, such and said, how can you have two mums? You can't have two mums. I'd be, but you do. And she'd go, oh, yeah. Generally not kids that have a problem understanding relationships.
Fine, any questions?
Tuber grip, should we put one of those on?
No, we went away from that a long time ago. Okay. Yeah, fell out of favour a long time ago.
Okay. We have very frank, open conversations about what makes our family up, why our family's like that. In terms of getting about,
In terms of getting about, so you're able to walk, but what I would do is minimise how much you're actually, how much you're doing in a day for the first few days at least, and just wear comfortable trainers.
I ask myself that question quite a lot. Well, what does it mean to me to be a good mum? You know, not somebody else, because I can't be somebody else's version of a good mum. Only mine.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All the best, take care.
Cheers, bye. All kids really want is to feel loved, cared for, understood, considered, and any gender can do that.
Cheers. Bye.
Doctors have now received the full report from Filippo's CT scan, revealing a significant bleed on the brain. His daughters Maria and Connie and daughter-in-law Lisa are waiting in the relatives' room.
Is it a lot of bleeding on the brain, or is it small?
It's moderate amount. So
whereabouts
I
on the
wouldn't say
brain?
it's on the left side, and it's
Which
quite
makes
at the
sense for the
top.
right, yeah.
It's quite top.
He has had a stroke?
Yeah.
So he'll definitely be staying in.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want
Thank
to come
you.
over or?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit sick.
Okay.
Non è possibile, gamba.
No, they have to look up. What if you fall down again in the night and really hurt yourself?
Dice, è meglio che tu stai in casa perché non ti sbatti a testa e che uno fa controllare la testa, capiste? Yeah? Non ti può mandare a casa perché non può camminare, stare in terra.
Ma non sono lì.
Ma dormi, ora ti danno una medicina e ti fanno dormire. Papà, ti danno una medicina.
Sto vicino. No, buonasera. Vai te. Vai. No, breathe.
My father was very happy when I got married. We had our first dance together. It was an Italian traditional song, and my father cried, and he literally could not stop crying with joy.
Oh, a little bit. Oh.
Meglio. I remember telling my father that I was pregnant, and he didn't believe me at first. And then I said, no, Dad, I really, really am. And he was over the moon. It's the first granddaughter, which he spoiled very much. My father was happy when he found out that I was pregnant again. The excitement that you're waiting for the baby, you've got everything ready. I had already bought an outfit knowing that his name was going to be Antonio. I wanted it to be a surprise. He doesn't realise that he can't, he's had a stroke, he doesn't
It would take a while.
want to go home. At dead on 9 months, couldn't feel him move anymore in the evening. I woke up in the morning and he still wasn't moving. My son had no more fluid around him and compressed his own umbilical cord. And in the end, he suffocated and died. But I had to give birth, knowing that I was giving birth to a dead child. I felt as if I'd been shot and left this big hole. Because you carry life for 9 months. You feel them growing, you feel them kicking. It looks like it's falling on one side.
Because of the weakness of this. You have to balance it on the paddle. That's why I keep giving him cuddles.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
It hit my father very hard. He was absolutely beside himself. My father just comforted me as much as possible. He stayed with me. And there was times that he couldn't speak about it because the memories just made him more upset.
Other than your ankle, did you have any pain anywhere else? No, and everything else feels all right? Okay, perfect.
She was feeling very nauseous. She had a couple of waves of nausea.
Okay, we can give her some anti-sickness.
83-year-old Susan has sustained a major fracture to her ankle. Doctors are preparing her for emergency surgery.
Hello, I am Amr, the orthopedic or the bone doctor. There is a break in the bone and it needs fixation in such an operation. The first risk is the risk of infection. And because you have a wound already, so the risk of infection is a little bit higher, okay? The other risk is the risk of that the bones do not heal. Okay? Any questions for me? I know. I'll go double check with the theaters, make sure everything is ready, and we'll call her anytime soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. I would have done almost anything to get away from my whole sort of home situation with my stepfather. I just thought, I want to get away. So I left South Africa, and I was then able to get United Kingdom citizenship.
But you have to stay here tonight. Yeah. God, yeah, they're not gonna do a surgery like that and then let you go straight home.
It looked rather awful.
I think that year of me going, it just made her sort of think about her own freedom. So she broke free from my stepfather and left him.
Were you supposed to be doing anything tonight? Is anybody going to be waiting for you to come and play Scrabble?
That was last night.
And tomorrow, nothing?
No.
Okay. Many, many years later, she'd made the move out here. It was really, really good having my mum in the UK. I was, a mother and, with two children, and to, get to know her again as my mother and as grandmother to my daughters was, that was really good.
You're probably going to have to come and stay with us for a bit. Molly's going to have to tidy out her room. No. But you can't be on your own. Why? Otherwise, I could come and stay with you.
My mum means a lot to me. We're really close. We talk about everything. I know she's always going to be there to support me. I know that I need to always be there to support her. And it makes me happy that she lives such a sort of a happy and independent life.
They are ready up in theatres, all right. We're going to get you upstairs, get that leg sorted as soon as we can, all right?
Okay. Bye.
Oh, you feel cold. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll find you when you're in the ward. Okay. Okay.
Thanks. Sorry.
Have fun.
Hello, darling. Yeah, he's definitely had a stroke. He can't move his right side at all, his leg or his arm. So he doesn't want to stay. He wants to go home, but he doesn't realise that he's had a stroke.
Can you lift your arms? Lift your arms up.
Filippo is being monitored after suffering a serious stroke earlier today. Doctors are assessing whether he may need surgery.
Take care of me. Take care of me,
I'll take you up.
You'll try.
My father was worried when I got pregnant the third time because he was worried for me, knowing that I'd lost my son, his grandson. But Claudia was born a year later, bang on Antonio's anniversary. Same time, same place. I have Claudia. It helped his grieving process, knowing that he felt that God had taken one child and then replaced with another, and that she was healthy, he was happy.
Filippo, can I have a listen of your heart and the chest?
Yes.
Yes, good. Thank you. Fine. Sounds all right. So I just spoke to the surgeon. You don't think that he's going to be a candidate for any surgical intervention?
That he's not.
No.
Factors like how old the patient is, and that will tell us how likely they're going to recover from surgery. If someone is already quite frail, then they may not survive the general anesthetic. And it's always very hard to accept the fact, you know, that you can't help the patient.
Is that because of his heart?
Yes.
So he can't have any surgery?
Stanno discutendo di cosa fare, del piano.
So with the warfarin that you're going to reverse, that will reduce the bleeding on the brain?
Yeah, so you just get the blood back to normal thickness very quickly, so hopefully you won't...
And that will drain it from the brain. Does that mean that you'll be able to walk?
Yeah, he will, really, depending on how he recovers, but his age is very much against him.
My dad lived his life to the full. We'd go to weddings and he'd be the first one up dancing. Not even the bride and groom have got up yet. Ah, shut up, he used to say to her. I get up, I dance, I love a dance, I love a life. You know, he was very much such full of life.
Filippo,
Asconda.
the last medication now, okay? Yeah.
Se andare a medicina
I'm
l'ultimo.
going to take you up to the ward.
Potete portare nella stanza Zoso?
I'm not that bad.
But you have a more comfortable bed.
Just sleep.
I've been there before.
I don't believe you.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You don't believe us?
Yeah.
Why? We're not that bad. Bless him.
Yeah.
Filippo will now be transferred to an acute stroke unit, where doctors can continue to monitor him.
My biggest fear in you know, a major event like that in somebody of her age was that it would sort of precipitate like a sort of a downward slide and a loss of her independence.
I know that in my early life I made some very bad choices. I think things are so much freer now. I would say it's very important to have family around, especially when you're older. When the children were smaller, I helped a lot. But I think now it's swung quite severely in the other way because she has helped me a lot through it.
I just thought it's going to be a long road to recovery. It's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, and we're going to need to make lots of changes to accommodate him. Remember at the hospital, my father said to me, "Please take me home, I don't want to stay." I said, "Dad, I can't do that." And he said, "No, please take me home." I feel bad because he wanted to come home. The nurses said they were preparing my father and getting ready for the night. And then we could hear the alarm bells ringing. And we saw the nurses running, and they ran right past us, went into my father's room. So we ran to the room. I was with him when he passed. I was with him when he took his last breath. And I'm glad I was there to tell him how much we all loved him. To tell him that all his grandchildren are here. I mentioned them all. And I wanted him to pass knowing that we were all here.